Live. Before I press on, let me see your hands up if you can hear me loud and clear, so that we don't delve into it and then realize that the audio is acting up. And apologies to what happened earlier. So it was pretty much not from this side, but the streaming software. That was where we had a problem this afternoon. And that was why we couldn't conclude the reading of that book today. But we'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow is always going to be another day. But tonight, as you are joining me, remember, read the caption of this broadcast. Read the description of the broadcast. Like it. Hear it. Invite your friends. Invite your not so friendly friends. Tell everyone that needs to be here that Mayegun today, Mayegun is live. Thank you very much if you have done that already. So, tonight, we are pressing on, like I said, we are pressing on the latest development, especially after yesterday's bill granted to Dele Farotimi. A lot of things happened in the last 24 hours. And then one of them, the height of it is that of the Ekiti Magistrate Court. Ekiti Magistrate Court. Ekiti Magistrate Judge. The one that sent Dele Farotimi to prison last week. They have done it again. This time around, he also denied Dele Farotimi bail. Remember that this whole thing is obviously a witch hunting, sort of, a witch hunting, where the powerful or the cowards who always feel like they are powerful are flexing their muscle to show to people like Dele Farotimi, who controls the levels of power in Nigeria, not the law. It is never about the law. It is always about men who consider themselves above the law. And they will tell you, we are the law. It is not what is written in your book that really matters. It is how they interpret the content of that, your law book. Unfortunately for them, it is actually helping to justify even more the book that triggered them, written by Dele Farotimi. So what happened today? There were scheduled, gathering today. So yesterday, the police IG's case of cyber stalking, cyber bullying, and harassment on behalf of Ape Babanlaole was heard at the Ekiti Federal High Court in Ado Ekiti. And because the matter before the court is a bailable case, it's actually meant to be a civil case, not a criminal case. But because the ruiners of Nigeria, they wanted to show to Dele Farotimi and people like Dele Farotimi that in this country, there are some of us that you dare not cross our path or challenge us. So to teach him a lesson, okay, so they decided to charge him for cyberbullying, and they called it a criminal offense. But nevertheless, Dele Farotimi was granted bail and the sum of 50 million naira. And then the surety, the like sum as well, 50 million naira, and even more. But you see, this magistrate court, there has no real law to charge Dele Farotimi for. Like, there is no crime that this magistrate court is charging Dele Farotimi for. There is no law to use in prosecuting Dele Farotimi. There is no Ekiti law that is against defamation or libel. None. But that was the beginning, where the police commissioner in Ekiti charged Dele Farotimi for defamation on behalf of Afe Babanlaole. So this magistrate judge adjourned the case to today, the 10th of December, just to have him locked up. So his lawyers, 3 of them, they appeared before this magistrate this morning. The whole thing didn't last an hour. Their first push was, okay, maybe you've had your satisfaction now. If you are told to make sure that he is locked in prison, great, you've had your fill. This case before you is a case that is bailable. Can we now just apply for his bail? Guess what the judge did? Okay. Let me go and think about it. I would have to adjourn this case again. They haven't started the case, the supposed defamation case. They haven't started that at all. It is practically like somebody flexing their muscle illegally. It is absolutely illegal for Dele Farotimi to be denied bail. However, he did it anyway. So this evening, we are going to start from Ekiti. There are other developments across the world on top of this matter. So we have to take it one after the other tonight. So Dele Farotimi was brought to court, even though there were also mobilized thugs. Yeah, government-sponsored thugs that were also brought to the court to come and harass and attack anyone and everyone that showed up in solidarity with Dele Farotimi. We also have that on record. But let's start with the arrival today. This time around, they didn't put him in cuffs. Fair enough. The arrival.
You listen to me. Mommy. Gotta go.
And partly also this as well.
You don't.
Gotta go.
Now, Dele Farotimi is now in court, and he just entered the courtroom, the magistrate court 4 and 5 at Ekiti. So here we are with a comrade, Kuyaja Wiseman. So, what can you say now?
Yes, we started, and Dele Farotimi is here. No more intent, and that's the beginning of the freedom and the beginning of total liberation for the justice system in Nigeria. As you can see, we have lawyers. Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Olumide Puchika, is leading our charge, and I can bet you he's going to get the bail today and it's going to be released. And you know, there is already working on the perfection of the bail of High Court yesterday. So finally, what we just want to say is that this is the beginning of the moment to show the world that enough is enough of tyranny, enough is enough of oppression and fiefdom. No individual can become a god. Thank you.
So we heard that Peter Obi visited Afe Babalọlá to go and beg him on behalf of Dele Farotimi. What can you say about that process?
The people are not interested in that. Anybody can go and negotiate with anybody.
But do you think and believe that Peter Obi can beg Afe Babalọlá?
Everybody has no methodology. That's Peter Obi's methodology. But for us, we want total liberation, and there is no other.
So immediately, the court sat, and just for the record, in case if you are one of the Ronuku, watching this broadcast, this moment, okay, Dele Farotimi is a lawyer, okay, and then is represented by the men of his profession as well. In fact, there is a list of them where those who are currently standing in for Dele Farotimi, they are even doing so, like in solidarity by pro bono, which means they don't even ask to be paid. You have Adeyinka Olumide Fushika, son, Professor O.F. Emiri, son, Bamidele Bironke, son, Shegun Ololade, son, Olushola Ebisheni, Esquire, Adejure Kembi, Esquire, Bayo Ayo, Esquire, Taiwo Akinlami, Taiwo Adedeji, Wahid Adepoju, Raf Unwoke, Fumi Farotimi, Temidayo Akeredolu, Femi David Falade, Inibe Efyong, Mayowa Omojola, Oti Adeogun, Emmanuel Adeyemi, Olaide Awal Bolanta, Benjamin Akomolafe, and then you've got defendant counsels, which is the ones that are like, those ones are like the supporting stuff, right? That you have Temidayo Akeredolu, okay, the defendant custody, what do you call it? The chamber that is defending Dele Farotimi. Dele Farotimi was kidnapped from his own chambers in Lagos by Afe Babalola's goons working in the Nigerian police. He was kidnapped because of his published book, Nigeria and its criminal judicial system, where Dele Farotimi exposed the corruption perpetuated by the likes of Afe Babalola in the Nigerian judiciary, where judgments are bought. And Afe Babalola considered this as a libelous allegations. He called it a defamation of character. Normally, Afe Babalola and his own chambers were supposed to approach the court. It's a civil case. Approach the court, sue Dele Farotimi for libel. But they didn't do that, even though they are now trying to do that now. Or not Afe Babalola himself. Okay? It is now somebody who is his partner, according to them. Right? So Afe Babalola now used the Nigerian police to kidnap Dele Farotimi from Lagos to Ekiti. Upon arriving in Ekiti, the commissioner of police in Ekiti sued Dele Farotimi for defamation on behalf of Afe Babalola, when Afe Babalola himself is a private citizen that could have sued Dele Farotimi by himself if he felt defamed. But the police took it, then decided to criminalize it. That is why we are where we are. However, there were those who stand up or who continue to stand up against this oppression, including Nigerians who are pretty much demobilized themselves. In Ekiti this morning, some of them showed up before the hired criminals, hired thugs, right, were unleashed on them. Earlier, while the bail hearing was going on outside the court, this happened.
When I remember water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember judiciary, water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember Nigeria, water run away me eyes. Water run away me eyes. When I remember this country, water run away me eyes. When I remember Nigeria, when I remember Nigeria, when I remember this country, what I run away me as when I remember Nigeria, what I run away me as when I remember corruption, what I run away me as when I remember bad government, what I run away me as when I remember bad people, what I run away me as
Run away me high. In solidarity. Meanwhile, outside that same court, where thugs brought to the court premises by the allegedly now, let's use allegedly, by Ekiti State government of APC, and this transpired outside their court, the magistrate court.
Government, see the bus they use and transport thugs. See bus that they use and transport thugs. I want to yeah, any show you. See thugs that all the boys see and they go see what they mobilize the court. See thugs. Executive cars, not to be get thug. Shame. See DSS behind them. DSS will rather down. Can't go on revolution now. Continue what to move. DSS will rather down. Can't go on continue what to move. See DSS behind them. DSS go to my escort one. Hurry. DSS go to my escort one. Hurry DSS laying one. DSS will rather down. DSS will rather down. People lonely. Hello, why they want be? Come on, people lonely. Bello la go going on apa. O je bi oni e shut up, yeah. Karagba fún yín. Ori. Wo eje.
Nigeria. All of this because some people felt so, I don't know, like they felt so little or so, or their ego got so bruised, their fake reputation got exposed, shattered. And then it turned out to be, this is not a civil case for these guys. It is pure ego tripping. It is a show of power or show of shame, as some of us would like to actually acknowledge it. Also, in Lagos, the Nigerian police mobilized themselves to protect Afe Babalola's chamber in Lagos, because today was supposed to be the protest, of course, against this abuse of power. Afe Babalola is a private citizen. Dele Farotimi is a private citizen. They are both lawyers. And if they have anything against themselves, the right thing to do is to go to court. Not one who is the cradle of corruption in Nigeria judiciary. The one that has denied the people the right to justice in that contraption. Those who have made justice, like the prerequisite rights or prerogative of just the rich and the powerful, okay? And somehow they are now flexing that muscle of corruption, oppression, suppression. The victims of oppression in Nigeria themselves, a lot of them, if you have been following the social media, especially in the last 7 days, they are like the conquered people, all right? When I say conquered people who genuinely themselves knows that they do not have any right as citizens in Nigeria. They do not have any right to free speech in Nigeria. The oppressed in Nigeria will tell you that there is a freedom of speech, but there is no freedom after speech. because the oppressors in Nigeria have told them repeatedly that if you think you have a right, it's only when we tell you that you have a right. But to those who were ready to actually really like take them to take it up with them, especially the take it backers. Yeah. So they arrived at Afe Babalola's chambers this morning, only to meet the Nigerian policemen combat ready to protect Afe and his chambers in Lagos. Briefly.
Yes, that's another issue. Yeah, you are all covered.
Meanwhile, what Dele Farotimi stands for is also to protect the rights of these supposed black clothing wearing crooks, impoverished, even policemen in Nigeria. They've been denied anything justice too. They are existing as the slaves, the hired guns for the crooked, powerful criminals in Nigeria. Unfortunately, however, outside Nigeria, especially at King's College in London, people still gathered, as planned, to tell the world that the man that gave you £10 million as donation is a crooked member of the criminal elite in Nigeria. Somebody who has something to hide, of course. And this transpired. Let's go to London quickly too. Apologies for that audio. The audio is pretty much not on. But there is somewhere else I can take you. It is Canada, where they take it backers as well, on behalf of Dele Farotimi, submitted a human rights abuse petition against Afe Babalola in Canada to the Amnesty International. You see, all these things, you may think they do not really count per se, but they do. Especially for the guys who are using stolen money, corrupt money, blood money from Nigeria to buy these validations from all over the world. Yeah, they are the visiting, I'm a visiting guest to Harvard, visiting this, visiting professor to Oxford. I am one of the highest donor to the King's College, London. I am this, I am that. So for the record, it doesn't really matter how you see this, but for the record, the world will have the record of their criminality that they are loving to cover up. Dele Farotimi has what is called a fundamental human right, and part of that right is to express himself. And same as Afe Babalaole too. Now, if Afe Babalaole now feels like his own rights is being breached upon or is being defamed, the right thing to do is not to kidnap a fellow citizen, all right, and then lock him up, and then use the instrumentality of the judiciary in Nigeria to deny him freedom. So the Take It Backers submitted a petition in Canada today on behalf of the same Dele Farotimi. Let's take a look.
Shut him up, where?
Yeah, someone is coming already.
What's coming?
Yeah. Yeah.
Hi.
Hello.
How are you? I'm Corey. Pleased to meet you.
I'm Chidi.
Hi, Chidi.
I'm Rebecca. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello as well.
Hello.
Yes.
So, what do you have for us today?
On behalf of the Take It Back movement, Global, the Canada Directorate, and some concerned Nigerians living in Canada,
we are here to present a letter of protest. First of all, to congratulate you and commemorate today.